is supposed to feel calm. Not perfect, not magical, just quiet in a way that tells you you are finally done running. Kobe sat alone in the small guest room of Emily's parents' house, staring at the ceiling fan as it clicked in a slow, uneven rhythm. The house was silent, except for that sound and the distant hum of the refrigerator downstairs. Tomorrow he was supposed to become a husband. Tomorrow he was supposed to stand in front of everyone, smile, and promise forever. But something in his chest felt off. Not panic, not fear, something heavier. He rolled onto his side and checked his phone. No notifications, no messages. Emily had said goodnight hours ago. She had sounded tired, distracted. He told himself it was just wedding nerves. Everyone says the night before marriage feels strange. So he tried to sleep. But sleep wouldn't come. Kobe had never been the jealous type. Back home where he grew up, trust wasn't something you talked about. You either had it or you didn't. And once it broke, it never came back the same. Emily had always said she liked that about him. "You're calm," she told him once. "You don't overthink." Tonight, though, his mind wouldn't stop moving. He reached for his phone again, not really knowing why. And that was when he saw it. A notification preview lit up his screen for just a second before disappearing. A name he hadn't seen in years. Mark, Emily's ex. Kobe sat up. His heart didn't race. It slowed. He unlocked his phone. Nothing there. The notification was gone. Maybe it had been delayed. Maybe it was nothing. He told himself to put the phone down. Instead, he stood up. The hallway outside the room was dark. Emily's childhood home smelled faintly of laundry detergent and old wood. He knew where her room was. They had agreed not to sleep together the night before the wedding. Her parents were old-fashioned about that. He wasn't planning to confront her. He didn't even know what he was planning. He just needed to know. He walked quietly, barefoot on the carpet, and stopped outside her door. Light leaked out from underneath. She was awake. Kobe raised his hand, ready to knock. And then he heard her voice. Soft, low, careful. The kind of voice people use when they don't want to be overheard. "I know. I shouldn't be talking to you right now." Kobe froze. His hands stayed in the air. There was a pause. He couldn't hear the other voice, only hers. "No, I'm not saying I regret it," she whispered. It's a lot." Another pause. "I miss who I was back then sometimes." Kobe felt his chest tighten. He stepped closer to the door, not proud of it, but unable to stop himself. "You always understood me," Emily continued, "before everything got so serious." The word serious hung in the air like an accusation. Kobe stepped back. He didn't knock. He didn't storm in. He walked back down the hallway, slower than before, as if his body suddenly weighed twice as much. Back in the guest room, he closed the door quietly and leaned against it. So this was real. It wasn't just a message. It wasn't just a name on a screen. She was talking to him, the night before their wedding. Kobe slid down until he was sitting on the floor. For a long time, he didn't move. When Kobe first met Emily, none of this seemed possible. They met the way most modern stories begin, not in a dramatic moment, not in a movie-worthy scene, just a shared laugh at a friend's barbecue, overcooked burgers, and cheap music playing too loud. Emily had laughed at something he said, really laughed, and that was it for him. She was warm, open, confident in a way that felt effortless. And she chose him. That mattered more to Kobe than he ever admitted. He had moved countries, left family, left familiarity, for her, for the life they were building. People around them said they were strong, that they balanced each other, that they'd last. And Kobe believed it. He believed in the quiet moments, the grocery runs, the late-night talks, the plans written on scraps of paper. He believed in her, which is why the words he had just heard felt unreal, like they belonged to another couple, another story, not theirs. Emily ended the call a few minutes later. Kobe heard her door open and close, heard her footsteps down the hallway toward the bathroom. He stayed still, breathing slowly, counting each breath like he used to when things felt out of control. He could confront her now. He could ask, demand, accuse. But something told him to wait. He needed the truth, not a rushed explanation, not tears meant to calm him down. So he waited. When Emily finally went to sleep, the house went quiet again. Kobe didn't sleep at all. Morning came with sunlight through thin curtains and the sound of birds outside. The wedding day. Emily's mother knocked on Kobe's door early, smiling, excited, talking about schedules and hair appointments and how fast time had gone. Kobe smiled back. He said all the right things. He played his role. Emily looked beautiful when he saw her briefly in the kitchen, hair half done, eyes bright. She hugged him, quick and careful, and whispered, "Can you believe it's today?" Kobe nodded. "I can," he said, and that was the truth. He just wasn't sure what it meant anymore. The ceremony was set for late afternoon. By noon, the house was full of movement, bridesmaids laughing, family members arguing over small details, music playing, phones buzzing. Emily moved through it all like someone floating. She didn't look guilty. That confused Kobe more than anything. If she had been nervous or distant or overly affectionate, it would have been easier. But she was normal, which made him wonder if this was normal for her. Kobe found a quiet moment when Emily stepped outside to take a call. Again, this time he followed. She stood near the old oak tree in the yard, phone pressed to her ear, turning slightly away when she noticed him. "I'll call you later," she said quickly, and hung up. She turned to him with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Everything okay?" she asked. Kobe looked at her. Really looked at her. "How long have you been talking to him?" he asked. Emily blinked. Her smile disappeared. "What?" "Mark," Kobe said calmly. "How long?" The air between them shifted. "I didn't think you knew," she said quietly. That was her answer. Not denial, not confusion. Just that. "I heard you last night," Kobe continued. "You said you missed who you were back then." Emily crossed her arms. "It wasn't like that." Kobe nodded slowly. "Then tell me what it was like." Emily looked down at the grass. "He reached out a few weeks ago," she said, "just to check in. I didn't think it was a big deal." "And the calls?" Kobe asked. She hesitated. "I didn't want to stress you before the wedding." Kobe let out a small breath. "So you chose to hide it?" Emily looked up. "I chose to protect us." Kobe almost laughed. They stood there in silence, the sounds of wedding preparations drifting from the house behind them. Kobe thought about everything he had given up, everything he had trusted. "This is the night before marriage," he said. "If you can't be honest now, when can you be?" Emily's eyes filled with tears. "I love you," she said. "I just needed closure." Kobe nodded again. Closure. A word people use when they want to keep a door cracked open. "Do you still have feelings for him?" Kobe asked. Emily didn't answer right away. That was answer enough. Inside the house, the wedding timeline continued like nothing had changed. But everything had. Kobe walked away from Emily and back into the house, his mind strangely calm. He wasn't angry. He wasn't shouting. He felt clear. clear in a way that scared him. The question now wasn't whether Emily loved him. The question was whether love was enough when trust was already bleeding out. And the hardest part? The guests were already arriving. Kobe locked himself in the small guest bathroom and turned on the sink, letting the water run just enough to drown out the noise from the house. He leaned forward, gripping the edge of the counter. For the first time since he'd heard Emily's voice the night before, his hands started to shake. Not from anger, from the weight of knowing that whatever happened next would change his life forever. He looked at his reflection. He didn't look broken. He didn't look dramatic. He looked like someone who had just realized that love alone doesn't protect you from betrayal. Outside, someone laughed. A bridesmaid, maybe. A sound that felt completely disconnected from reality. Kobe shut off the water and walked back out. He needed space, but there was nowhere to go. Emily found him an hour later in the backyard, sitting on the edge of the porch steps. She sat down beside him without asking. I didn't want this to come out like this, she said. Kobe stared straight ahead. When did you plan to tell me? He asked. I didn't, Emily admitted. Her honesty landed harder than any lie. So you would have married me, Kobe said slowly, while still talking to him. Emily wiped her eyes. I was going to stop, I swear. After the wedding? Kobe asked. Yes. Kobe finally turned toward her. You wanted a ceremony to fix what you hadn't finished dealing with. Emily flinched. That's not fair, Kobe exhaled. Neither is this. Emily told him the story then. About Mark. About how they dated for years before Kobe. How intense it was. How it burned bright and burned out ugly. How he always pulled away when things got serious, she said. How she was the one who begged for effort. And now, Kobe asked. Emily swallowed. Now he's older, calmer, different. Kobe nodded slowly. And when he called you weeks ago? Emily hesitated. He said he heard I was getting married, she said. He said he needed to hear my voice one last time. Kobe laughed quietly. One last time, he repeated. Emily reached for his hand. Kobe pulled it back. The officiant arrived around noon. The florist showed up right after. The house filled with strangers, carrying flowers and clipboards, all smiling like this was the happiest day of someone's life. Emily's parents noticed the tension. Her mother pulled Kobe aside. You okay? She asked softly. Just nerves, Kobe said. It was the easiest lie he'd ever told. Emily's father cornered Kobe later in the kitchen. Marriage is scary, he said. Everyone has doubts, but walking away is something you don't recover from. Kobe looked at him. Staying when you shouldn't, Kobe replied, is worse. The man didn't answer. Emily tried again in the early afternoon. This time, she cried, full shaking sobs. I choose you, she said. I always chose you. Kobe listened. He didn't interrupt. When she finished, he spoke. You chose me when it was comfortable, he said. But when your past knocked, you answered. Emily shook her head. I was scared. So was I, Kobe said. I just didn't run backward. The dress was hung up. The ring sat on the table. The guests filled the seats outside. Music started softly in the background. The moment everyone had been waiting for was minutes away. Emily stood in her room, veil on, eyes red but determined. Kobe stood alone again, this time in a small side room near the ceremony area. His best man asked, You ready? Kobe didn't answer right away. He thought about what marriage was supposed to mean. Not perfection, not never thinking about the past, but choosing the present fully. He thought about Emily on the phone the night before. Her whisper, Her words. I miss who I was back then. Kobe stood up. No, he said. I'm not. The music stopped abruptly. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Emily stepped forward, confused. Kobe walked toward her. Not angry, not dramatic, just steady. He took her hands. Everyone watched. I can't do this today, Kobe said. Emily's breath caught. What are you saying? She whispered. I'm saying I won't marry someone who isn't sure, Kobe replied. I am sure, Emily cried. I made a mistake. Kobe shook his head. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary, he said, not reopening a closed chapter the night before forever. Silence swallowed the space. Emily's knees buckled. Her mother rushed forward. Guests looked away. Some stared. Kobe didn't raise his voice. I love you, he said quietly, but I love myself enough not to beg for honesty. He handed her the ring and walked away. Outside, Kobe breathed deeply for the first time in days. The sun was bright. The air was still. His phone buzzed. A message from Emily. Please don't do this. He didn't reply. Not because he didn't care, but because caring didn't mean staying. That night, Kobe packed his bags. Emily watched from the doorway. Where will you go? She asked. Somewhere I'm not second place, he replied. She didn't stop him. As he drove away, Kobe felt something unexpected. Not relief, not triumph, peace, the kind that hurts first, but heals clean. The road stretched out in front of Kobe like a question with no clear answer. He drove for hours without music, without calls, without looking back. Every mile put distance between him and the life he thought he was stepping into. The phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't Emily. It was his mother. I heard, she said gently after he answered. He didn't ask how. News travels fast when a wedding stops halfway through. I'm okay, Kobe said. There was a pause. Then she said something that stayed with him. You didn't lose anything that was truly yours. Kobe closed his eyes for a moment as he drove. Emily didn't leave her room for 2 days. The wedding dress stayed on the hanger. The flowers wilted. The guests went home with stories they would tell for years. Some blamed Kobe. Some blamed Emily. Most blamed timing. But Emily knew the truth. The silence after Kobe left was louder than any argument they'd ever had. Mark called again that night. She didn't answer. For the first time, she saw the pattern clearly. He had always appeared when she was building something new. Never to stay, only to remind her of who she used to be. And she had let him. Kobe stayed with a friend for a while. A small apartment, folding couch. No questions asked. The nights were the hardest. Not because he missed Emily, but because he missed the version of the future he had imagined. He replayed moments in his head, wondering if he had ignored signs, wondering if love had made him blind. Slowly those thoughts faded, replaced by something steadier, clarity. Emily finally sent a long message. Not begging, not defensive, just honest. I didn't cheat, but I betrayed your trust. I see that now. I was scared of closing a door forever. And in doing that, I shut the one in front of me. Room, Kobe read it once. Then again, he didn't reply. Not yet. Weeks passed. Life kept moving, even when it felt wrong. Kobe found work again, started training harder, found rhythm and routine. The pain didn't vanish, but it stopped controlling him. One afternoon, his phone rang. Unknown number. He almost ignored it, but something told him not to. "Hello?" he said. "Kobe," a male voice replied. "It's Mark." Kobe closed his eyes. "So you finally decided to speak to me," Kobe said calmly. "I didn't mean to cause this," Mark said. "I just needed closure." Kobe laughed softly. "Closure is something you give yourself," he replied, "not something you take from someone else's future." Mark was silent. "I love her," Mark said. Kobe's voice didn't change. "If you did," he said, "you would have called before the wedding existed, not the night before." He ended the call and blocked the number. Emily started therapy, not because she wanted Kobe back, but because she finally wanted to understand herself. Why she chased familiarity. Why she confused intensity with connection. Why she feared endings more than broken beginnings. She learned something painful. Some people don't miss the person. They miss the version of themselves they were allowed to be. Months later, Kobe and Emily met again. Not by accident. They chose a neutral place. A quiet cafe. No tears. No anger. Just two people facing what remained. "I'm proud of you," Emily said, "for walking away." Kobe nodded. "I wish you had been ready," he replied. "So do I," she said. They sat in silence. It wasn't awkward. It was final. Kobe walked out of the cafe lighter. Not healed completely, but honest. That night he wrote something down. "Love without trust is just hope pretending to be enough." He folded the paper and put it away. Time passed. Life expanded again. And Kobe learned something most people learn too late. Walking away from the wrong future is still moving forward. 2 years passed. Not quickly, not easily, but steadily. Kobe didn't rebuild his life in some dramatic way. There were no big announcements, no sudden success stories people could point at and say, "See, everything worked out." What he did instead was quieter. He learned how to live without waiting. He stopped measuring days by what he had lost and started noticing what he had gained. Peace, control, self-respect. He and promise forever. But something in his chest felt off.